Peace. Man, happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now, want to speak uh, about magic, but more so sympathetic magic. And more so also correlating it to tarot cards as well. Uh, But basically, what magic is in essence is basically, and it's kind of like my own little definition. But basically, programming the subconscious mind through ritual, trauma, repetition, symbols, talismans, and etc. Getting the subconscious to a place where we are manifesting what we want and not what someone else programmed us to do. Because when you look at magic, it's basically again all about either some type of ritual, and that ritual is programming your subconscious. You're dealing with some type of talisman to program your subconscious. Say, hey, when I'm wearing this talisman, this energy is what's given off. But for the most part, it's dealing with the subconscious mind and how to maneuver and quote unquote in essence manipulate the subconscious mind in order to manifest certain things into being in essence, or when I say manifest, or allow certain things to manifest into being. And most importantly, magic is what you make it, programming your subconscious to your own uniqueness. Because we all have our different, types of uniqueness. As a matter of fact, like the time of the day of the month of the year in the cycle of ages, all these things factor into our magic ritual, knowing when to use certain items. Matter of fact, I was telling somebody, I might say in a video recently about the whole reason with, them, because say for instance, we just followed seasons like the ancient indigenous beings. We never dealt with like keeping up like, oh, today is the 1st of Tuesday. Matter of fact, the word Friday is derived from Frigg. Frigg is a Norse mythology being, so that means that those days of the week wasn't created till people started again creating the English language, or these different languages, and creating these different days and stuff like that, these different months, stuff like that. Of course, again, we kept up with quote unquote time for the most part, but it wasn't as micromanaged, on that level of all right is this day, in that essence. But we did again keep up with like knowing the cycles and what's going on. But again, like, so that's why, like 9/11, September 11, like, why the government do, certain things, on certain days. I say government, shadow government, the Jesuits, Queen Elizabeth, like that whole, the Rothschild family, the banks, all that, they, in which though you start to realize though, just like with anything, there could be beef within family, you know what I'm saying? Like we done saw, growing up, our family members may be at odds, stuff like that, 'cause that's what you're seeing going on right now with a lot of them, they bickering on how to try to control us. And so, like, how we gonna control it? You want to do this? I think it's a good idea to control them like that. This and that, But anyway, that, again, that goes into the calendar dates and stuff like that, so they could perform ritual, perform magic. They made sure, what's his name? The Papa Bush, can't, transition at a certain time because it is doing a certain ritual with that, But again, knowing when to use these, knowing when to tap in with these certain factors. Again, time of the day, because at 12 o'clock at night, in essence, that kind of points to the Saturn energy, which I can't think of no other things to correlate it with, but just as a one example, or again, not only the time of the day, but the day. Today is Monday. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get into it. And I say today is Monday, but today is Tuesday. But you want to work with a card that correlates with the day of the week too, like, which I'm gonna get into. But like, say for instance, on a Sunday, I would deal with the sun card, to promote that energy, and the tarot cards correspond with Hebrew letters. Matter of fact, one of the other reasons, like, I wasn't solely thinking about divination. Whenever I was thinking about, like, just learning, like, how to break down the tree of life, or the Kabbalah in essence, and breaking down the Hebrew letters and astrology, like, basically breaking down the correspondence with dealing with tarot cards, because tarot cards in essence would allow for you to, get deeper and learn these aspects and how they correspond. More so how all these different aspects correspond with each other, would help for you to tap into that. And remember, our subconscious existed way before human language existed. Matter of fact, before, which we'll get into another time, reptilian language, but these beings came down here with the gift of language, Matter of fact, Enki from the movie Dune, which in Dune, Enki is Muad'Dib, and Muad'Dib went to Dune and taught him how to speak, like, and it was like, oh, the word Muad'Dib. At first was the word, and the word was God, But all that language confused, like, the reason why we dealing with, confusion, stuff like that, is from this babble, all this language. So again, dealing with tarot cards, taps into the subconscious mind, because the subconscious was existing way before, words and stuff like that existed. So, it also helps with that. And again, magic, programming the subconscious, just us looking at, a certain, tarot card or a certain symbol would, create a certain thing internally that would, manifest outwardly in essence. So again, like, just simple magic. Matter of fact, from colors, elements, to which direction you are facing while performing your ritual, like, that all goes into it as well. Are you trying to tie into some root chakra energy? You might want to use the color red, or some earthy tones. If you're trying to tap into the energy of water, like you're trying to deal with some magical energy dealing with water, you want to deal with the color blue. You know what I'm saying? And probably have some cups of water around. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to, bring those elements into play as much as possible. And they all, coincide with, actually doing your your ritual and stuff like that. Now, sympathetic magic is basically like attracts like, like produces like, So knowing the laws of the universe, we know the law of correspondence, as above, so below. But basically, magic where likes attract like, you know what I'm saying? Things that are similar will behave similarly, and those things will influence each other. So matter of fact, sympathetic magic, an example of that is, either dealing with the tarot cards or, like a voodoo doll, because that's corresponding. You create a voodoo doll in the likeness of somebody, and you deal with that voodoo doll in the way you want to correspond with that person. That's sympathetic magic, and also, though, let's see, another aspect of the sympathetic magic is law of contact, or law of contagion. Don't start acting crazy out here. See the wind trying to blow. The law of contact, or the law of contagion. Once things have come in contact with each other, they continue to act on each other and react with each other at a distance, even after physical contact has been stopped. And matter of fact, this is something, quantum physicists divided a photon in half and then stimulated one half, and then the other half was reacting to the stimulation of the, the first half, and that was kind of like them proving that in the experiment, like, all right, this, this exists. So matter of fact, with that proof, like, getting to a level where, so no matter how much somebody want to say, I don't believe in this, even though I don't want to read the literature about it, I don't believe in it, I don't want to believe in it, it is what it is, it is there. you start to realize too, like on our spiritual growth, how much, again, our egoic mind and just lower vibes just try to keep us away from the magic and stuff that would spiritually liberate us, because say for when we was more in our lower nature, or just not realizing things, we probably looked at a crystal and was like, does that shit really work? Or because you're in that mind frame of not dealing with it, you don't know of the magic, you haven't been initiated into that level, so you thinking all that shit bullshit. Just like somebody who's sitting at home watching TV thinking that Donald Trump really is the president that's running everything. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been initiated to any high levels of information to realize, wait, this all a sham, and it's deeper occult and esoteric meanings behind everything that's going on. But they got to get initiated. That comes through the seeker. Most people get initiated into certain groups or whatever, in essence, because they looking for something, you know what I'm saying, looking for some knowledge or some wisdom or whatever, not necessarily in those cases, but just in general, like when you, whatever you looking for, in essence, that's how you fall into initiation. But with this aspect though, the law of contact, I realized though, like being careful with sharing crystals, making sure you detach your energy from crystals before sharing them, like whether you visualize like some little cards being cut, like before you hand off crystals. Matter of fact, sometimes like if I would forget to do it before I handed the person the crystal or shared the crystal, I would later do a meditation like disconnecting myself from that crystal, because they'll go to working on that crystal, stuff like that, and I'm wondering like why this happening to me, or why this going on, and it's from that sympathetic magic or that law of contact, going on, where I'm reacting to something due to the crystal being worked with on another end, But you see the again, simple forms of sympathetic magic. And also I remember like talking about too, like just magic, like where if I'm dealing with somebody and I want them to be, I want to make sure they're more truthful with me, you know what I'm saying? I want to promote the vibration of truthfulness, then like just simply wearing the color blue, when you're going to deal with some situation that you kind of want to, pull some truth out of, you know what I'm saying? You want to, or like you want to tapping into lower nature, the sexual nature, and you might want to deal with the colors red and orange, like it's correlating in those manners all across the board, But again, you could also use your tarot cards for sympathetic magic as well, because they correlate and correspond with different, so many different aspects. We're gonna kind of speak on that. Matter of fact, and before I get into this little part, a little book that I use for a lot of the information, Tarot Correspondence, Ancient Secrets for Everyday Readers. The author is T. Susan Chain. And she got some nice references in here. It's a pretty nice little book. Bring them back. This is not my book. I'm using my brethren for my brethren. Shout out to my brethren Brads. Let me hold on the book. In fact, getting it in before I had to give it back. That's why I just been in study mode a lot lately. But one of the things that in the book was spoken of, and matter of fact, just before I even get into that point, again, like all the different cards, correspond with different things, like the different suits. Say, for instance, you got wands, you got cups, you got swords. Matter of fact, because that's why the magician card, the magician, to do magic, you mixing all those elements, together. The fire from the wand, The water from the cup, the earth from the pinnacle, and the air from the sword are the words. And matter of fact, again, and I spoke to this in another video, but wands are like, the fire aspect, also representing the solar phallic energy, so also like a masculine, somewhat phallic energy, and the cups are like water, the feminine energy. Think about cups of a bra, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to correlate things. Swords are air energy, because sword is an anagram of words, and words are used as a form of communication, like Mercury, which is an air sign. Then pentacles, basically connecting with earth. The star, the pentagram represents the human body, as above, so below, just like earth. And the 5 points in the Taurus field, like our Taurus field, that big like apple-like field that we sitting in, has like a little pentagram at the top of it. And also an upside down star represents, the Baphomet energy, or the quote-unquote Saturn or Satan energy, but just pointing to being in the physical, bringing the energy down into the physical realm. That doesn't necessarily be overly physical, or like worshiping the physical realm, like how some Satanists do it, like, so say for instance, like in essence, like with a reference to like when Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic, speaking on it. Again, it's just having the knowledge that, I am all of them, the Baphomet, I'm the Christ, and it's all one and the same. And dealing with that star, again, it's just bringing the energy to the physical. But again, some people do it in a manner that's like, not only we using this to bring it into the physical, but we all about the physical, and that's all we care about, is trying to manipulate and control this physical realm. Like, we don't care about what our soul deal with when transition, because we're not trying to that's the vibe more so that a Satanist may have about it. But again, and the Capricorn, a earth sign, also ruled by Saturn, the Baphomet energy. So you see, again, all those correlations, and also, just to show you somewhat straight from my notes, also like dealing with the different, like the I'm sorry, y'all, I'll be trying to see. Oh my goodness. Make sure there's sun in my eye. Give me a second, y'all. Let me see if I could do something while this video is going on. Try to get more brightness. Alright. I can see off the reflection. So the wands, deal with, you got the name of God, Yod He Vod He. Yod He Vod He. Matter of fact, the pentacles, earth, the swords, air, the cups, water, and the wands, fire. And you also see that correlation where the upward, masculine, air and fire, feminine, water and earth. And if you put water and earth, two downward triangles together, and then the air and fire, two upward triangles together, and then put that together, you would get the Star of David, or that balance of energy. That in essence almost like pointing to that, that true magician, blending those elements together. The heart chakra, like that mediator. And they also correlate to the different like levels within the tree of life, where you got the absolute, which is the king scale. Matter of fact, and let's make sure. Well, absolute is the archetypal world that deals with Keter, Chakma, and Bina. You got Bria, the creative world, which deals with I always say it's wrong, I think Jebera, Teferet, and Chesed. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do better, because I realize though they're important to at least be decent at pronouncing some of these things. But when you're gonna look at the tree of life or the Kabbalah, you'll get what I'm saying. You got Yetzirah, the formative world, which deals with Had, Yesod, and Nizak. And then you got Asaya, the active world, which deals with Malkuth. And let's see, I think I got my Kabbalah in here though. Yep. And all the different pathways, you know. See what I just named an Absolute, Bria, Yitzhara, and Asaya, you know, the different levels. I'm sorry, y'all. Apologize with the wind blowing, but you see it's sectioned off with the different separats. But the tarot cards again correlating to the tree of life, and also it also corresponds with the paths in between too. You know, like so the little right back right quick. Like I'm sorry, I just gotta try to get, but like, you know, the little patch, you know, like the little lines in between, you know, because matter of fact, from let's see, from Kether to Chakma is, let's see what the notes say. From Kether to Chakma is the Fool card, because the Fool is the 0. And matter of fact, dealing with the, you know, the tarot is almost like, you know, in essence, the story of the Fool, you know, going through these different aspects, you know, from that 0 card all the way down to the 21st card, which, you know, with the Fool card, you know, which is 0, would make the 22 major arcana, and then you got the 56 lesser arcana. And matter of fact, when you're dealing with it on the divination vibes, you know, the major arcana, you know, may deal like with, you know, long-term situations, or the bigger aspect of like your, you know, like, so say for instance, like the 56 lesser arcana deal more so with your day-to-day, you know, like what you're doing within your day. And the major arcana more so deal with like, you know, like from this moment on, you know, kind of like a more broad vibe to it, compared to like on some day-to-day stuff with the 56 lesser arcana, you know. But where was I? Oh yeah, the different pathways. So from Kether, you know, to Chakma is the Fool, and then the Magician is from Kether to Binah. So like again, you see Chakma is 2, and Binah is 3. So it would make sense that the 0 card would be the first one, you know, going from the 1 to the 2. And then the second card, the Magician, going from the 1 to the 3. So that's that path, you know. And basically from, you know, also correlating to the names that go with it. So, you know, Kether, the crown, Chakma, the wisdom. So from the crown to the wisdom, and from you know, the crown to understanding. Binah is understanding. So from the crown to understanding, you know. And it breaks down further in that manner, but again, you know, helping us to correlate. We're doing you know, our sympathetic magic. Matter of fact, so dealing with sympathetic magic, again, it's different little ways, you know, like say for instance, and this example comes from the book I just showed y'all. But say for instance, you could like using the card of the day, you know, like having a little card day where you pull a card of the day for yourself, you know what I'm saying? You could either do it randomly like that, and we say random, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? Because again, this is a divination process. You should, beforehand, I did that video about like me opening my tarot card pack and cleansing them, and, you know, basically working with it just like a pendulum, like, hey, only divine, truthful vibes of source, you know, pass through these tarot cards, you know. So in essence, when you're dealing with them, it's never necessarily anything that's random, you know, about it. But again, it's just a random card pull with the card of the day, you know. But, or you could, again, like say for instance, you know, today is Wednesday, not literally, but let's just say, you know, today is Wednesday, then shit, I'm gonna deal with the You know, what energy coincides with Wednesday? Mercury. You know, and Mercury coincides with the Magician, so I'm gonna deal with the Magician card. You know, so basically, you know, dealing with on the Wednesday. Matter of fact, at the hour of Mercury, you know, which Mercury is the first star. Let's see, the first or 8th planetary hour of the day. You know, so say for instance, like our example, like if I'm working with the Saturn energy, you know, on a Saturday, I'm a do it on a Saturday at 12 o'clock at night. You know, just kind of teeing the line almost like, so probably 11 something going into 12. You know, it's going into Sunday, but you know, like to really get the strongest energy, you know, in the world, that one correlates with matter of fact, the world correlates with the Saturn and Earth energy. You know, matter of fact, and these are the representation, the Taurus, Leo, the Aquarius, and they switched the eagle, but it's really a scorpion. You know, different you know, different little zodiac signs. Matter of fact, it's not necessarily like the snake eating its tail vibe, but you know, it kind of has that like infinite vibe. You know, also circles in essence are somewhat like a vesicle Pisces or oval, you know, being in that, you know, the vagina, the yoni energy, you know, but again, using that, or you know, because it's not just one card. Like say for instance, this card, you know, the devil resonates with Capricorn, and Capricorn also deals with Saturn as well, so you would be able to use this card to connect with the Saturnian energy as well. And again, so also too, like Pinnacle cards as well, you know, would in essence be tied a lot to the to that Saturn energy. You know, you see the different correlations right there. But so say for instance, like with Mercury, you know, if I'm trying to, so say for instance, the Magician, you know, deals with the vibe of all around resourcefulness, you know, wily strategy, deceptiveness as a skill, you know, magical efficiency, you know, stuff like that, and also deals with salesmanship. But that's also too what I just spoke on, also dealing with the energy of Mercury as well. And let me see. Yep, the Magician deals with, you know, skill, diplomacy, address sickness, pain, loss, disaster, self-confidence, will. You know, the Magician could also represent the querent himself. Querent meaning the person questioning, you know, during the tarot reading. You know, the Magician could represent the actual person themselves if it's a male. You know, so I would want to, you know, again use that Magician card on a Wednesday. You know, in between the first of the matter of fact, and again I have to look that up myself, but this coming from the book, you know, again, the first or the 8th planetary hour of the day. But matter of fact, again, you could take out this card, you know, and say for instance, sandalwood is a energy that connects with Mercury, the Mercury energy. So like passing the card through some sandalwood incense, you know what I'm saying? Also lavender, you know, you could, you know, let some like a little diffuser, let some of that little aroma, you know, touch the card, you know, in essence. Of course, you want to be careful, you're not trying to wet the card or nothing like that, but you know, again, and you could even write, you know, like a little incantation, you know, or a little, you know, quote unquote spell to go along with it, you know, like in order to, you know, want to amplify the vibration again of like all around resourcefulness, you know, being that Magician, you know, that Magician got all those elements on the table ready to get that work in, you know. But again, you could use that card in that manner. Friday. I want to deal with Friday or Frigga. Freya, Urzuli, Oshun. Venus. All those energies. Correlating with each other. I would work with the Empress card. Dealing with that Venus energy. Matter of fact, and also, like, say for instance, again, like on a divination level, if you was doing somebody readings, you pull this card, it could be pointing to the energies of Venus, it could be pointing to the color green, it could be pointing to the day Friday, it could be pointing to dealing with jewelry or fertility, also dealing with the crystal malachite, which that's not no books, that's just me correlating, those energies, that Venus energy with that copper from malachite. But definitely could use that card, Moon Day or Monday, which again in which to tell people, like, see how she kind of dressed like how they dress the Virgin Mary, because the Virgin Mary is dressed to mimic the yoni, to represent the vagina. Talk about that pearl tongue, how you talk about the pearl, but that pearl, the clitoris, at the top, the little opening, and then there's like a flow of water with the little moon at her foot, in between Boaz and Jakim and Boaz, Boaz, the feminine, Jakim, the masculine energy. You're trying to do some little, and also you could also, and using this card as Monday, because this card, coincides with the moon, but then you actually have the moon card itself as well, you know what I'm saying, that you could use too, which, I don't know, it's somewhere around here. But again, using these different aspects to correlate, correspond with each other, to deal with the magic. And again, sympathetic magic is basically like ritualizing the effect of like attracts like, same thing how I talk about abundance with crystals, like with crystal magic in essence, because that's basically what I deal with it indirectly. I'm not walking around saying I'm a crystal magician, but I know that I'm performing magic due to the crystals that I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people, like, when you're working with a crystal for abundance, that's, again, that same, like, little correspondence where like attracts like, where, working with a citrine and a tiger's eye is not going to make money fall out of the sky just because I got them in my hand, like, oh, these crystals are for abundance, so money about to fall out of the sky. No, what it's doing is amplifying the vibration of self-worth and abundance and confidence within yourself, fueling that inner flame of passion and of, confidence and self-esteem, and, to a level where you will attract that abundance, you will be able to manifest that abundance, due to, again, like attract like, because now you're vibrating on a frequency of abundance. So, the universe has no choice but to line you up with the vibration that you're lining up with, you know what I'm saying? So again, working with these cards, and the subconscious seeing this too, and like, all right, getting a certain little vibe about it as well, just from looking at it, like, without you being able to break it down with the conscious mind, or trying to break it down with the conscious mind, your subconscious is getting a message from, working with these symbols, So definitely, seeing that aspect. And I had something else I wanted to share or speak on. Oh, but also too, seeing when you get into the suits and stuff like that, so like how I said, the cups deal with, the water energy. So the cups deal with the 3 water signs, the The wands deal with the 3 fire signs. The swords deal with the 3 air signs. The pentacles deal with the 3 earth signs. So basically, wands is going to be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The cups is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The swords is Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And the pentacles is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And also what I forgot to mention earlier is on this world card, the significance, because I did want to answer that, but in the moment it wasn't coming to me. So you see with like this world card, these Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio are fixed signs, kind of fixed in their ways to a certain extent, stubborn in the ways, and you got that correlation. Let me try to do this. Like you see, like the different signs, like the fixed sign is in the middle. Let's see, when I'm looking at this Taurus right here, starting from what that is: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and then at the top the cardinal sign of Cancer. In June 21st, or 12 p.m. in the middle of the day compared to 12 a.m. in the middle of the night. Again, correlating those times of the day. Matter of fact, I'm trying to, this is December 21st, with the fixed signs. And you see right here, Aquarius, fixed in. Or that Capricorn is that cardinal, Matter of fact, the cardinal signs kind of like the trailblazers, the leaders, in essence, and leading and being trailblazers, again, to our own uniqueness or to the vibes we're on. So that could be for the better or the worse, quote unquote. It could be a trailblazer in a direction that's not beneficial to our soul ascension, or in a way that's beneficial to our soul ascension, but a trailblazer nonetheless. You see that Libra, another cardinal sign. Again, those cardinal signs are like portals, like 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. or September 23rd. That's that Libra energy. That's a portal being open right there. Same thing with June 21st at 12 p.m. dealing with Cancer. That's a portal being open. March 21st, 6 a.m. Aries. Portal being open. Like the bottom, December 21st. Matter of fact, I got like a little reminder, hey, don't forget about the little Ophiuchus energy that's sliding there as well, because dealing with sidereal, astrology, it goes off of the constellations that's actually in the sky, and from about the area of like the 1940s or 50s, from that point on, most people born after that will be affected by, Ophiuchus, because Ophiuchus is a part of another solar system, but it's visible within our solar system. Matter of fact, connected to the Herculean constellation family. But again, so with that world card, again, that's the fixed signs, and almost see just how I showed you the elliptical, the fixed signs around the elliptical, 360 degrees, Instead of 1 degree of knowledge, you get 360 degrees of knowledge, That's the whole point, like that aspect of the, the one dot. I did this video, but about that little dot of consciousness, just being and then from there it becomes aware of the space all around it, like, so it forms a circle, which I just put, this is more of the little dot in parentheses, but, just for the discussion, imagine now that, this would fill up fully, like, and it'd be a little circle, kind of like right here, like, imagine, the one circle, that first circle, that 360 degrees of knowledge, like that little consciousness, became consciously aware of all around itself. And then it's like, all right, let me expand to the furthest point of, that 360 degrees of that knowledge. And it's like, all right, expand to that point. And from that point, it is at 360 degrees of knowledge. And expand to another point. But with this right here, I was talking about how, showing how the feminine energy is one of the, we don't deal with time necessarily and this and that, or what came first or not, but just, again, for lack of a better word, that feminine energy kind of preceded the masculine energy. And you see it with, again, like the first thing, when that first little consciousness, grows from it, and even in its first state before it doubles up, a circle is a feminine energy, so there's no straight lines dealing with this yet. And then again, because I only got this line right here to show that pathway, but it shouldn't be a line right there in that essence. Well, I mean, yeah, that's where you get the Metatron's cube is the more masculine vibe of the flower of life in essence, But again, you see that feminine aspect. Well, when the circle moves to that second place of consciousness, it creates the vesica Pisces or the yoni, and also like two breasts, or little buttocks, or two nipples. Again, like the breast. Again, that 360 degrees of knowledge, that full circle. And again, just using the different cards for card for Jupiter, Thursday, Wheel of Fortune expanding, that abundance. And there you go, them fixed signs again, on this, the Taurus, the Leo, Aquarius, and the Eagle. But, all the correlations with this one. Holding the, that sword, meaning stand dear to the word. Holding that in the words. But again, if you want to deal with the Jupiter energy, Thursday, Shango, energy, that's what you want to deal with. And also, just another one I want to show y'all right quick, and I probably spoke on it in a video, but I'll speak on it again if I haven't. But dealing with the Liberty card, because I was like, also you start to see, as you start breaking down these cards, you could just look at them and start to see other things that they would correlate with, without even, again, coming across any literature on it, So when I came across this, I'm like, I bet you, I'm willing to bet that in the voodoo, like the little Sally Ann Glassman cards I saw, dealing with the tarot cards, but with the voodoo pictures, I'm like, I bet your goon is probably this card right here. And I'm trying to find it right now. Not trying to, I will find it. Font, justice. Matter of fact, let's see. Is it in this tablet or the other tablet? Might be in my other tablet. All right. Give me a second, y'all. Yep. The Justice card is the matter of fact, the Justice card and the just a little quick fact right quick, the Justice card and the Strength card, which deals with the Leo constellation. This one deals with Libra, in the tarot, in the Thoth deck, so that's the deck by Aleister Crowley. He got the Justice card as the number 8 card, instead of 11. He swap out the Libra and Leo card, or the Justice and Strength card. But in the Rider-Waite Smith card deck, the Justice card is 11, the Libra, and the Strength is the 8 card. But anyway, you see this correlation. Matter of fact, the Justice card is red and green, dealing with the root chakra and the heart chakra. That's another thing, looking at the colors, the shapes, and just like I said with magic, it all coincides with all this. But the red, that root chakra, and he got more of the red on, so he got a strong sense of, being grounded and being courageous, but with also that loving, balance and discernment of the heart, you know what I'm saying? Able to, balance that logic and intuition and come up with a, and being balancing that logic and intuition and being courageous about expressing it. And Ogun deal with like when you're dealing with court cases and stuff like that, or some type of justice, like you're trying to get some type of justice served, it's dealing with Ogun, put that goon on them, get your goons, that's kind of correlating with that energy. So again, dealing with that unconditional love and discernment, because again, discernment, like unconditional love, it's like loving yourself. And loving yourself, you got to have like discernment of who you're dealing with and what you're dealing with. Like unconditional love don't mean, oh, I'm loosey goosey, just gonna deal with any and everybody, no matter how they coming at me, or no matter. It's like, nah, you got to have a certain discernment. If you love yourself, don't put yourself around somebody that's trying to harm you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you love yourself, you won't do that. But of course, because we co-creating, those people might pop up, and you make sure that you, distance yourself, or had a discernment to not deal with them. But as a matter of fact, the color red, because Ogun deals with iron, and iron is in the blood. But eventually, within the story of the Yoruba, Shango ended up getting the color red, from Ogun. But as a matter of fact, also 11, represents two ones, two straight lines. 11, that mean like not only of course on the portal opening vibe, but that's also representing two, like a strong masculinity, because there's no curves in two straight lines. Two straight lines would also give a a very again strong masculinity energy. And when you look at Ogun, because I remember I always bug calling about, like, before I really before I really knew that these was energies inside of us, before I really like got the subconscious to know, like, all right, yeah, this is inside of us. I still, like, I remember, like, and two, even with that dynamic, it was still like, even though I didn't realize that I was dealing with me, that's what it was. So say for instance, like how I was a little, like, I don't know if I want Ogun altar, because Ogun seemed like he kind of mean, and like you gotta, like Ogun felt like the Orisha, where if I don't leave out an offering, like my whole house might catch on. And two, just looking at it from the outside looking in, because all of us, especially in America, they teach us to be scared and terrified of voodoo because of how it whipped their ass and hate it, and they don't want us, dealing with it, because they're like, oh no, I don't want nobody dealing with the magic. We gonna be dealing with the magic, programming subconsciouses and stuff like that. We don't want them dealing with it, but now I remember that vibe of just feeling like, oh man, I don't know if I want to, it just, until I, realized, like, all right, this internal energy. And again, even realizing still that, it was like still being like afraid of the Ogun within myself, you know what I'm saying? Like that part of me that's like, and kind of like, strong in the, because again, like, I also had that little people pleasing type of vibe or niceness, and not that I would overly have that people pleasing vibe, but I remember like times where, things I could have voiced, my opinion or how I really feel about a situation, but in order to just keep the peace, like I just be, not that niceness to where I just let people just completely run over me, but I would, again, just kind of people please to kind of just, like, I just don't want to be fussing, I don't, so let me just, like that type of vibe. So that's why I was kind of, scared of going. Again, still, even though I didn't know it was internal, it was still an internal battle or situation going on where, I had to become one with that part of me that's strong in that root chakra, and, and that heart chakra, having that discernment and strongness to, you know, stand up and have that discernment at the same time with that unconditional love, and, you know, and you see where that would provide that justice. And there's also a symbology too of holding the word, you know, in essence, above the balance. Also pay attention to, like, you know, with like a foot, like, you know, his, what this is, we looking at him, so it's his right foot, and the right side of the body deals with the left brain. So also logic, you know, got that little logic, you know, foot first in essence, you know, again, because logic, masculinity, the number 11, and the in between two pillars as well, you know, got the little Libra scale, you know, weighing it up. But again, so matter of fact, Ogun magic, you want to deal with that Ogun energy, you could use that Justice card. That's definitely a correlation right there. But, you know, that's basically it. And, you know, and just to share a few little things while we, you know, again, I was going to talk about this is just for the example, just go with the example of Two of Cups, because basically with this example, you could basically come up with the rest on your own, because basically it's like, it starts off like, well, sorry y'all, I'm trying to see if I could, but like how you got the two of Cups to the Four of Cups, you know, that's all dealing with the Cancer energy. And then, you know, from the Five of Cups to the Seven of Cups, dealing with the Scorpion energy or Scorpio energy. And then from the 8 to the 10, dealing with the Pisces. And it also deals from, you know, from the 0 to the 29th degree, you know, right before the 30 degrees. You know, because again, from the tropical aspect of, you know, dealing with the zodiac, you know, each zodiac sign, they have it as 30 degrees, you know, even though, like, again, because Sidereal looks at, all right, in the sky, shit, Virgo is way expansive than, you know, than another constellation, you know, let's just say. So, you know, when the sun's passing through that energy, you know, it's going to be longer than, like, it's not going to be the same exact amount of time, in essence, that it passed through each one, because all of them physically, like, when we really truly look at them, it's not all 30 degrees apart, you know what I'm saying? But for the tropical, you know, and just the elliptical on that level, you know, it coincides with that, you know. So let's say, for instance, if I was doing dealing with wands, you know, so the wands, it would be I ain't gonna hold this up, but the 2 to 4 of wands would deal with Aries energy, you know. The 5 to 7 would deal with the Leo energy, and the 8 to 10 would deal with the Sagittarius energy. And next to that, you know, Earth, you know, it would be let's see, I want to say it in order, which I'm just realizing something: Cancer, Scorpio, Libra. All right, because I'm seeing, I guess they're doing it in, putting it in the middle, but matter of fact, maybe I should go check that out just to make sure I'm doing this right and saying it right. Give me a second, y'all. Thanks for the patience. Yep, so that's right. So the two of Pentacles to the 4 of Pentacles would be Capricorn. The 5 to the 7 would be Taurus, and the 8 to the 10 would be the Virgo energy. You know. So again, seeing how they correlate in that manner. You know. And again, when we're breaking down a little divination, you know, the minor arcana is more of like, you know, somewhat of the day-to-day, more, you know, again, like minor, you know, in essence, I say minor in that essence, but, you know, compared to the major arcana that's dealing with like a broad spectrum of like, this energy is going to affect you more than just in this moment, you know, type of vibe, you know. But, you know, that's basically it, you know, as far as Again, dealing with sympathetic magic, like attracts like, correlating with the tarot cards. You could use this as well. And remembering about the law of contact, dealing with sympathetic magic, which I'm gonna repeat just to reiterate on that. But the law of contact, or the law of contagion, once things have come in contact with each other, they continue to act on each other and react with each other at a distance, even after physical contact has been stopped. Quantum physicists divided a photon in half and then stimulated one half and watched the other half react to the first half stimulation, basically proving the experiment. And again, so that means, being careful with the way we're sharing crystals, or certain objects and stuff like that. Because, of course, we would like for everybody in existence and everybody we come across to have, quote unquote, good intentions, or, beneficial intentions towards us. But the fact of the matter is, that is not the truth. That some people do want to have ill will towards us. So again, being careful with, dealing with certain objects, accepting from certain people, stuff like that, because, that's sympathetic magic, on the smallest level. But that's basically it. Yep. Matter of fact, if you type in universal frequency subconscious, or universal frequency subconscious mind, or just look at my latest videos I did, and the recent one with the Truman Show, alienation, and the silent war. Right after that 2-part video, they have one on the subconscious mind, and that could allow for you to get further, information on that situation. But again, like, it's pretty cool to work with the tarot cards too, with the corresponding energy, again, allowing for us to learn about the tree of life, and tapping into astrology, the Hebrew letters, like, it has all kind of correspondence, that it deals with, and again, just to reiterate one more time, with my, again, my in essence, my definition of magic, basically programming the subconscious mind through ritual, trauma, repetition, symbols, and talismans and etc. Getting the subconscious to a place where we are manifesting what we want and not what someone else programs us to do. Because again, you program your subconscious mind before somebody else does. As a matter of fact, and if you on autopilot from the subconscious programming of what's been taught to you all your life, again, you might want to look into, reprogramming yourself. Because again, what other than the fact of balancing our mind, body, and soul, or balancing our thoughts, emotions, and actions, manifestation again also comes from, what our subconscious mind is dealing with. Whatever limits we place, like if the subconscious like, oh no, it's impossible for you to start a business, then it's going to be impossible. Like, you need to work on that in your subconscious mind, and through repetition and through ritual, or just different aspects of proving to your subconscious, because the subconscious need proof of that you are working in this area, and that will change and can change, compared to, again, your subconscious mind just feeling like, oh, it's hard to start a business, and you just go along with it. That's why, like, we are where we are in life because of our subconscious programming, point blank, period. Everybody, is dealing with a certain energy due to a certain perception about this physical realm, And of course, we are co-creating, but for the basic, your what happens around you is due to your your inner perception on the subconscious level. So, but that's basically it. Matter of fact, tarot cards, might be something that y'all might want to, tap into. Again, it's a pretty cool little learning situation, as much as it is a divination system as well. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to want to do divination to deal with tarot cards, which again, I'm going to try my little hand at it. I want to add that to like dealing with consultations, dealing with the tarot cards. I'm gonna just flip a card before I go to see what energy the card's gonna leave us off with. And some people, you got like the cards sometimes I have reverse meanings. But matter of fact, I just keep it simple and just kind of use my intuition. Like if a card does, like, or should I say the reverse meanings exist for like if you have your cards and like say for instance you shuffle them, like so instead of shuffling them from side to side like this, if like you shuffle them like this, they would come up like some would be right side up, some would be upside down, and like when you're pulling them, like in essence upside down, in essence be like a reverse card. And having the reverse effects of that card, but I don't really deal with them on that level. And again, I'm pretty new to them anyway. But as a matter of fact, when you're dealing with your cards too, like if a card fall out or something like that, like like while you dealing them stuff like that, then you have to go no further like for your answer. Like in essence, the universe made that card jump out for a reason. So that's another thing dealing with them. Hey, the sun, letting that solar plexus shine, be confident. Got the little baby on a white horse. I guess sometimes the color white associated with purity in essence. You can look at the horse's lower nature. Riding that lower nature being tamed to be able to ride it, in essence. The orange, yellowish flag dealing with that sacral chakra, solar plexus energy, creativity, fertility, confidence, all that good stuff. Being joyous, being kid. Like a matter of fact, again, the sun also like the strength card coincides with Leo constellation, but again, the sun is correlated to, the Leo constellation. The Leo constellation, the Leo energy deals with, being joyous, being kid-like, like that kid-like type of joy. So, that's the card for right now, So however that resonates with you for the day. But that's basically it. Peace. Damn. Happy now. Now the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.